You can go.
Now, the video you watch now surfaced in Lagos last week. Nigerians woke up to see troops deployment in Lagos. Nobody knows why these troops were deployed in Lagos, but Buhari has not come out to tell Nigerians why the troops movement in Lagos. He doesn't have to tell us why he is deploying troops after he's the commander-in-chief. It's within his powers to deploy troops. But however, I have a feeling or have this feeling that these troops were deployed because of the riots in Lagos that broke out because of the currency redesign, currency scarcity and the petroleum scarcity. If you recall, there were demonstrations in Lagos and riots in Lagos, burning of tires and destruction of properties in Lagos. It wasn't only in Lagos, it happened in so many states, such as Ogun State. Even at Benin, I heard 3 people were shot dead, and you could see massive protests, demonstrations at other cities because of currency scarcity. People were being hit hard by the pains. Don't get me wrong, it is massive everywhere. However, I also think the second reason might be because of the coming elections in Nigeria, which will take place by 25th of February. I believe the troops were deployed to make peace. If you recall, Lagos is a flashpoint of demonstrations. Lagos is like a hot spot when it comes to demonstrations and riots and destructions. Besides, there are so many touts in Lagos. And if you recall, about last week or so, Obedience were attacked by APC thugs. And in the previous election in Lagos, there was also issue of banner slashing, shooting of guns in the air that scared voters. So the deployment of troops is a welcome idea. I endorse that personally. So long as the troops will maintain peace, so long as the troops will not go and aggravate more pains, so long as the troops will not go and start collecting 20 naira or 100 naira or causing more pains to the Nigerian masses. I personally endorse the deployment of troops. As a matter of fact, I think the deployment came a bit late. My reasons are these. The moment the government saw the long queues at the banks would have been the time to deploy troops and police personnel to help and maintain orderliness at the banks or even at the filling stations. Letting it to get to the point of demonstrations and riots is a bit late, if you ask me. We should be able to preempt, to prevent things getting to the boiling point. We should be able to avoid reaction, preempt and prevent things so that you can be able to save properties, save lives. The people that were killed at Benin during this protest or riot are not going to come back again. You have given the families permanent emotional injury, emotional pains. Imagine if they are their breadwinners. You've caused so much problems for them. And also, I want to use this medium to appeal to Nigerians. Violent protest does not pay. Rather, it worsens the situation. If you protest violently, for example, the bank properties that were destroyed, the banks will actually maybe get their money back from insurance companies if they insure their properties, which I believe they would have. The insurance companies will find a way to recoup their money through the masses. Head or tail, the masses will pay the price. When you destroy properties, the banks will rebuild the properties. The banks will now increase their charges or introduce funny ways of deducting money from their bank. You cannot do without the banks. So when you destroy properties, for example, you have also given them a leeway to start deducting money or to start stealing from you indirectly. Make no mistake about that. Any violent protest doesn't pay. The masses will also end up paying the price for the destruction. the big men doesn't affect the big men much, but the masses will still suffer. When the two elephants fight, the masses, the grass will suffer. In this case, the masses will pay the price. So my advice will be, let us avoid anything violent protest. And as a matter of fact, the violent protest could have even been planned or orchestrated by some fifth columnists in the government. They could have been setting up Nigerians for something sinister. So when you protest, you give them reasons to do something bad. So let us learn not to play into the trap or into their hands. Let us wait and do peaceful protests always. Now, back to the issue of deployment. I said here, I endorse the deployment. As a matter of fact, it should happen at each state in Nigeria. There should be troops at each state in Nigeria to help maintain peace, to make sure that this election coming up will be peaceful. That will be okay. When you do that, you restore confidence in the Nigerian system. But by the way, on the flip side, why wouldn't the president deploy troops, maybe let's say against the Fulani killer herdsmen? Why wouldn't the president deploy troops against the unknown gunmen or the kidnappers? Why wouldn't the president declare total war against insecurity in Nigeria? Don't get me wrong. Troops are meant for external aggression, maybe for wars and external aggression. But at the same time also, they are also used to quell internal rebellion, internal crisis when it's getting out of hand. When you ask Nigerians, or if you ask me, the insecurity in Nigeria has gotten out of hand. Therefore, there should be total declaration of state of emergency against insecurity. These troops can as well be deployed, or after election, they can be deployed against criminalities or against killer herdsmen in the bushes. That way, you now begin to restore confidence in Nigerians. When you don't do things like this, like whenever issue of Fulani herdsmen comes up, our C.V.Akuta Buhari gives it a kind of let me say, I don't know how to put that, but he doesn't take it serious, suggesting that either he's somehow sympathetic to them or practically or indirectly supporting them, because any C would have declared war against security, which is the reason the primary purpose of government is security and welfare of the society. So I don't know why he has been dragging feet, or fact, not that I don't know why. Somehow he is sympathetic to the Fulani herdsmen. No doubt about that. Nigerians know that. But thankfully, his tenure is coming to an end. We're hoping that a new government will come with vigor and full force against insecurity at all parts of the country. Now, I will validate as follows. The deployment of troops is a welcome development. It will help to bring peace if it is sustained all throughout the election, if it is deployed against criminality, against banditry, against unknown government, against Fulani herdsmen, against all forms of criminality, that would be a welcome development. That will restore peace into the system. That will restore confidence back to Nigeria. That will help investment, the economy to start growing up again. Therefore, I am using this medium to call upon President Buhari to please make sure that this election is conducted peacefully, without rancor, without any let's say insecurity, without any violence. When he does that, he would have been putting his name in record, would have been making record, would have left a legacy that Nigerians will remember. So shall it be. By the way, my name is C.V.Akuta. In case you're watching this video for the first time, please share the video, like my video, or you can even dislike the contents of the video, it doesn't matter. But what is important to me is to hear from you. I need to hear your feedback. Thank you so much.